Jonathan Trott returned to the county game and scored a typically fine 100 as the early LV County Championship leaders Warwickshire dominated the opening day of their latest match with Sussex at Hove, as Varun Chopra also reached three figures. Michael Yardy won the toss and decided to have a bowl first after a slightly delayed start, and that was soon looking like a very good decision once Chopra had got the scoreboard moving with an early boundary off James Anyon. In only the fourth over of the morning, Steve McGoffin, fresh from his match-winning performance over Lancashire a fortnight ago, had William Porterfield well held by Ed Joyce after the edge had been parried to him by Luke Wells. Then in the seventh over, Ian Bell was cleaned up by Anyon as the England man, looking for a return to form, was out for a duck. That left the early season front runners in some trouble on 13 for 2, but Trott was soon looking at his very best. Whatever the conditions, whatever the type of bowling he's up against, and whatever the match situation, Trott just loves batting, and he was soon unleashing some of his now trademark shots as he settled in very nicely indeed. What a bonus for Warwickshire to have him back in their ranks and playing so well immediately. Chopra, meanwhile, is a man who seems to relish this early part of the season. He was never going to repeat the start he had last year when he scored a couple of double hundreds before most batsmen had found their feet and form. But the talented opener was still going ever so well against his Sussex attack, which had performed so admirably in that recent victory over the champion county. Trott simply eased to his 50, dealing mostly in boundaries. Indeed, this was his 10th in an innings thus far lasting 56 balls. Needless to say, this was just the start. Chopra was at his 50 soon afterwards. That was his 8th four in an innings occupying 94 deliveries. The partnership was now becoming something rather meaningful. They took it to three figures at nearly 5 runs per over. Trott has become a classier and classier act ever since making his England debut only 3 summers ago. It seems like he's had the world at his feet for much longer than that. Yardy employed 7 separate bowlers throughout the day, but none of them could find their way through Trott, who played beautifully. His 100 arrived off his 163rd ball, and that was his 17th four. Although he doesn't play much county cricket these days, he has become a batsman to be feared by all bowling attacks. He simply carried on his recent form for England with an innings of real quality. Chopra was no less skillful as he produced some exceptional shots of his own. Already Warwickshire's batting lineup is looking very handsome, and with bowlers waiting to return once they are fit, the Bears already look as if they may be the side to beat this summer, having come so close to taking the title last year. Chopra too reached 3 figures. His turn had not been as free-flowing as his partner's, but no less important. He'd faced 214 deliveries, 14 of which he'd hit to the ropes. He took his partnership with Trott to 219 in 64 overs to put his side in complete control. The stand was surprisingly ended by the part-time spin of Wells, for whom this was just the 5th wicket of his first-class career. Chopra could hardly believe that he missed his sweep shot to go LBW for 105. The Warwickshire skipper, Jim Troughton, was next out for 12 with a total on 257. He edged Monty Panesar to Yardy. Trott was not to be put off by those wickets, however, and he was still there at the close with a huge personal score now beckoning. He did lose Darren Maddy before the close, driving at and missing a ball from McGoffin to go leg before for 1. But Trott and the night watchman Chris Wright saw out the remaining overs to take their side to a handy 281 for 5 at the close. Trott will be back in the morning on 132, and there's still plenty of batting to come to support him.